Hi, this is Barb from Scrappy Mania. Today I'm going to show you how to create a card using some card bases or some cards that I found at Ross. When I saw these, I might necessarily use them just like this because to me it's just a little, no dimension, no excitement. It looks like, just a regular store-bought card. But then what I decided is I started thinking, you know what? Maybe for two, because this was only $3.99, I can use this and make another kind of card and make it more interesting by cutting out some of the designs in that card and using foam tape to pop it up right here. I also use some of my rosettes that I handmade and glitter them and use that as an embellishment. I use some of my Flower Soft for here to make some flowers, and then here's a butterfly. So now this card really looks very nice. It looks homemade. So from this, I did this. So when you see cards like this, don't dismiss them. You can go ahead and kind of use it, and I'll show you how you're going to go ahead and kind of spruce it up and make your own design. So here you're going to need two of those cards. So I got two here. So, and you're going to need some, what you're going to need for this project is some pattern paper to cover the white cardstock. You'll need a white cardstock or cardstock cut 4.5, what is it, 4.5 by, or 4.25 by 5.5. So you're just going to take a regular 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut it in half, and that will be one of your card base. Okay, I'm going to use a ribbon because if you notice here it has a little ribbon. So I already created my little ribbon that's going to go right there. You're going to also need pattern paper for the bottom to cover it. So I got this pattern paper. Now one other thing is because the die that this comes, the next die bigger than it is 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch bigger, and I really didn't want that because it was going to be too big. So what I did is I got this Stampin' Up. I bought this like 6 years ago. And how you use this is you take, let's say you only want a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch bigger. So you want your shape to be 1/8 inch bigger than your original die cut. So you take this, and let me show you how it works. Let me use a scrap piece of paper. So it was basically this. So I took my die, I placed it on my paper, then I took however, now if I wanted a 1/4 inch space between this one and my next cardstock, I used a 1/4 inch. You got 3/8 inch up to 1/2 inch bigger. So, but I just want it a little bit bigger. So then I took this and using my pen, I kind of went around the edges of my die like this. And then once I was done, and make sure you do it on the wrong side of the paper. So then you just cut it out and you'll have a perfect 1/8 inch around your die cut like that. Okay, so that's how I did that. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you need to do is cut your card apart. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and use your precise scissors, and I'm going to cut this. My sentiment is going to be here, so I'm really not going to cut that, but I want the butterfly to be on top, dimensional. Then I want these roses will be 3-dimensional, and then I'm going to use some of my Flower Soft for these flowers. So I'm going to cut all my die cut pieces out, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I cut out all my embellishments, And this is gonna go here. So now the next thing I need to do with all these is put some foam dots as the background. And actually, notice here it has like that. I'm gonna start cutting into that a little bit too. So let me go ahead and do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so I cut it out and now it really looks like a vase. Doesn't have that extra kind of piece there, straight piece. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting some foam dots. Some foam adhesive. And I'm going to put it on my project. So I got all my foam adhesive. And actually I need a little bit more. Now, one trick about the foam adhesive that I like to follow is I like to put enough so that way on my images, so that way it doesn't like dip in. If you only put foam adhesive, let's say on the side, then if you put it in a card, the middle part might sunk in and kind of distort a little bit. So that's why I like to put a lot of foam adhesive, so that way it evens out the. So when I place it here, it won't like sink in one side. So I'm going to put that aside because after I started cutting this, I decided that I wanted to put some flour soft. And I told you I was going to put some of that like this. So before we even put our die cuts on here, I'm going to go ahead and put some flour soft. And then I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use this one, Sweet Pea. And it has a combination like pinks, greens, and stuff like that. I like this one. And I'm going to use some of my wax paper. This is another trick that I do. I buy a box of wax paper from Costco. And it lasts me forever. But I really like it because that's what I use on my projects underneath. I put it underneath whenever I'm either gluing or doing anything like that. Now with this flour soft, you got to use a special glue. Now this glue is high tacky glue, so even Arlene's high tacky glue will work. I've heard that it worked. I haven't used it with Arlene's tacky glue, but I believe it'll work. And then I'm gonna put it around my flowers. And I'll speed up the video while I'm doing this, so that way you don't have to be watching me in slow motion putting my flowers soft on my card. So I'm going to speed up the video. So one of the things that you have to do for the flower soft is that it's very compacted in those jars, so you have to kind of like loosen it up a little bit. And that's what you see me kind of sprinkling it and kind of loosening it up a little bit. Okay, I'm done with that process. Now I'm going to let that dry before I start putting the other embellishments on my card. But in the meantime, while this is drying, put it aside, I'm going to start working on the rest of the card by, I'm going to fold, let me put my flower soft away. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card in half. Use my bone folder. Make a nice crease. Then I'm going to take some of my my paper, my wax paper, and I'm going to use a stick glue. And I'm going to adhere the background pattern paper on onto my cardstock. Make sure you put a lot of glue and you cover every single edge to edge of that cardstock with glue. Now, either I can use a pair of scissors or I can use my craft knife with a ruler and I can cut along the edges. So there I have the beginning of my card. Now the next thing I want to do is I think it needs a little inking. My edges needs a little inking, so I'm going to go ahead and get some ink and put some around my edges. I'm going to be using Fire Brick. Distressing ink from Rangers. And I'm also going to be using a foam applicator. And I'm going to put some of that around the edges. And what I like to do, like on the edges here, I like to kind of put a little more so you can see that like it'll be a little darker, like a little weather look. So it's going to be a little darker like on the corners of the page. And then just see how it kind of looks a little darker around that corner. Hope the camera could pick it up, but it kind of gives it that weather age look when you do that. Now, the next thing I was thinking about using in my cards were these little butterfly glass mirrors that I got. Or they're not even glass, it's plastic mirrors that I got. I bought a big pack at Walmart. And I keep them here in the tubs. And it came with dragonflies and butterflies, and you get them kind of where the beading area is, the craft area at Walmart, and they're pretty cheap. So the only thing, see this little knob there? I really don't want that, so you just take a pair of scissors and you cut it out. And now I got a little butterfly. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink my little saying with some ink, and then I'm going to ink also the pattern paper underneath. I'm going to glue this together, and I'm going to use my stick glue for that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some foam adhesive because I want it to pop up from my card. So, okay, so I have that ready. I got my other embellishment ready. I got these ready. Now, let me see if my card is ready. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some foam adhesive in the back of my card, and I should be back. Okay, so I went ahead, put a bunch of foam adhesive in the back, and the next thing I'm going to do is I want to put my ribbon right there. I'm going to use my glue gun, and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue there in the center, and then I'm going to place my ribbon. Okay. Now I either could cut it, or I'm just going to put it in the back like this. And now I got my ribbon there. Next thing I'm going to do, I might as well start adhering it onto the page. Okay, so I speed up the video, and I'm just taking out the sticky backing of my dimensional tape, and I'm starting just to layer all my layers on my card. The butterfly there, I'm adding an extra layer of foam tape because it only had one layer, and since my tag already had a layer of foam tape, I had to put another one to make it even. I put some more flour soft, and now I'm gluing my butterflies, the mirror of butterflies, on my card. So there's my card, all spruced up and 3-dimensional. And if you look at the original card, so from this plain old card, I got this. And from this plain old card, I got this one. See? It looks pretty nice. So don't dismiss these cards. If you find stuff like this in an outlet discount store, I would buy it and then just cut them up, use foam adhesive, a little bit of glue, and some other little embellishments, and then you have a brand new card. I hope you like this tutorial. Come back to see me for some more. Thank you. Bye.